Hey everyone, welcome to the second follow along video. Let's explore getting feedback from Gemini. This use case is one of the first I started with when using AI assistants. I used to submit my documents like presentations, reports, resume, and ask AI for feedback so that I can get a second opinion on it and make improvements. But Gemini moved this process to the entirely new level, as it's natively multimodal, meaning it can process not only texts but other types of content like videos. You can now get personalized feedback on how you actually perform, not just on what you wrote. The reason Gemini is so dominant here is its massive context window. That's the first time we are using this term, so let's introduce it. The context window is essentially the AI's short-term memory. It is the amount of data the model can hold in its brain at once to understand the request. While other models might struggle to remember more than a few minutes of footage, Gemini can process up to 1 million tokens. To give you an idea, that's about an hour of video or thousands of pages of text in a single go. This massive memory is exactly why we see so many users switching to Gemini for video analysis. But don't just take my word for it. Let's verify it. I'm going to use thinking mode to verify the claim. And this is the prompt that I'm going to use first. Let me hit enter. The reason why I started with this question is because I want to show you the double check response function. And here is the response with the details on why professionals are making the switch to Gemini. And to access the double check response function, click on three dots icon at the bottom of the response, and here you will see double check response. This feature uses Google search to find content that's likely similar to or different from statements generated by Gemini. And please note that this feature is specifically built to verify factual claims. It won't appear for things like creative writing, code, or similar tasks. Gemini started evaluating the statements. And here we see the green highlights confirming the claims that Gemini did. And we can even expand this window to see the detailed article that Gemini used to validate this claim. That's pretty convenient feature. And now let's get tactical. I recorded a video of myself during a Zoom interview for a head of product role. This is a 1 hour recording, which is a massive amount of information. And because of this, I'm going to choose the Pro model. But first, let's start a new chat. Here, I'm going to choose Pro. Pro model is designed with a much higher intelligence ceiling and is superior at maintaining a coherent understanding across the entire hour of footage. So let me attach the footage first. I have 10 different video fragments here, and I also submit my instructions. I started with giving Gemini a role of executive leadership coach. I provided context in terms of the video, what I'm doing here. And this is my task with the specific questions that I want Gemini to go through. My expectation from Gemini is to provide me with the information in terms of my presence, communication style and clarity, my strength, and areas for improvement. And I also asked Gemini to provide the specific timestamps for its observations so that I can quickly find the fragment Gemini is referring to and rewatch it myself. Watch how Gemini processes this information. And here is the feedback. Those are great observations and things I could definitely improve on. And now let's take that feedback and turn it into something useful. I'm going to ask Gemini to rewrite my Tell Me About Yourself script so that it is more punchy and it is more relevant for the head of product role I'm going to apply for. When you work with Pro model, like in our current example, the response generation takes significantly longer time, so be aware of this. And finally, here is the rewritten version of my Tell Me About Yourself introduction. It looks quite good, but of course, if I would use it in a real conversation next time, I would prefer to change some things to make sure that it does sound more like me. Great job, Gemini. And just like that, you have turned Gemini into your personal coach. I can imagine so many use cases for this kind of video feedback. Imagine you are doing a 28-day yoga challenge and you need daily feedback on whether you are improving, or maybe you have a fear of public speaking, so you can record yourself, submit the video to Gemini along with your presentation slides, and ask what worked and what didn't. One thing I noticed when I started doing this regularly is a positive side effect I didn't expect. The fact that you are recording yourself makes you more self-aware. Even before Gemini says anything, you start paying more attention to what you are doing and how you are doing it. But that said, and that is important, take AI feedback with a grain of salt. These models are incredibly powerful, but they do make mistakes. For instance, in the example we just looked at, Gemini told me I was seated the entire time while I was standing. So use the insights as a starting point, but always rely on yourself for the final judgment. Please let me know in the Q&A for this video what scenarios you are experimenting with, and I'll see you in the next one.